Good morning and welcome to another edition of Finn's Table Talk with myself, Fish Tank Hank, and my wife and co-host, Kelly, also known as KJ.
Good morning.
And we're here to bring you some fresh and new news about Vic Fangio this morning. Maybe we're going to talk a little bit about Dalvin Cook. How's he doing? Here we go, folks. We're running into it. So, KJ, tell me, we've been thinking a lot about Vic Fangio and him coming in, and Boyer had a man-to-man coverage, and Vic Fangio plays a little more of a zone defense. What do you think about the fact that we now have him over here?
Oh, it's so wonderful. The way his defense is, he runs the 4, 6, or 8. And like you said, Boyer does that man-on-man coverage. Fangio's bringing that zone coverage, where I think is going to be such a difference and a really powerful difference. And we needed a change there. And this is going to be the change. He was on a sabbatical
he was on a sabbatical for a year.
It was a year, yep. But he was not off. He was studying tape, taking notes, sitting at his kitchen table, getting ready. At an interview was with Travis, right?
Travis Wingfield. Yeah, he had an interview with Travis Wingfield. Yeah, that's correct.
And he was saying himself, he's got some new schemes coming up. It's going to be fresh, and he seemed really excited about his new ideas. So that makes me really happy.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited because not only was he on a year sabbatical, he said that while he was on this year sabbatical, that he's come up with some new ideas for those offenses that think they have an answer to the 4, 6, or 8 cover that he runs on his zone schemes. So what I'm hoping is that he turns around and makes it all happen. But he also said in his interview that he has a bunch of new wrinkles for this, and I see a lot of changes coming, and I don't think offenses are going to be able to score as much as they used to. And you give this man who has great defensive mind an extra year to sit and study tape, unbelievable what he's going to come out and do. Unbelievable. So what else do you think he'll do for our team? Anything with Tua? You think he'll do anything good for Tua?
He's going to do great for Tua. The problems, with him getting hurt and just I'm not going to say he can't read the defenses, but he just needs a little more help, where if he can get that help from that quarterback, that head coach that can come in and be like, okay, this is what you need to see, instead of that being a fresh set of eyes for Tua, that it's another veteran helping Tua out.
Well, that, and if you have a defensive mind talking to an offensive player, especially the mind of Fangio or Vic, and you have him there, it's just amazing what you'll be able to do and accomplish at the same time.
And he comes in with so much respect that, and Tua's that type of player. He wants advice. He'll take advice. He's not walking around like he knows everything. And that's great. That's a person to learn from, is Fangio. I mean, even, his peers think he's one of the most brilliant defensive minds, including Flores. Flores had said that. He thinks he's one of the most brilliant, one of the best defensive minds in the NFL. So I think this is such a great thing for the Dolphins, seriously.
I've been thinking a lot about players that are and aren't on the Miami Dolphins. And yesterday I took a poll, and I wanted to know if people would like to have Dalvin Cook on the team. So I like Dalvin Cook. There's a lot to like about him. He has been known through his career to have some injuries, but what running backs don't? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All running backs have injuries, so I'm not too worried about his injury past.
He just had shoulder surgery. Did you know? I think it was this week.
Mm-hmm.
He had the surgery from his injury in 2019. I think that was his first injury with the shoulder. But this past season, he played all 17 games, and that means he's coming back. He's recovered. It never slowed him down. It never. He wasn't one that.
That goes with ability.
Yes.
The best ability is
Availability.
Availability. Exactly.
And he was very proud of himself in January. He said that was one of the most, he was very, very proud of that, because he said, I showed up for my guys. I was there for my guys. It wasn't, he said, I feel good about that. It wasn't like, hey, I showed up and I did 17 games. No, I was there 17 games for my team.
And what else do you like about Dalvin Cook? I mean, he's with the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to have some cap space issues. Miami has some also, but Miami has a lot of ways to clear room for some cap space. So if we were to bring him on over, what do you think Miami would benefit? I mean, what did he do that would benefit Miami?
Well, 2022, he rushed over 1,000 yards, and that's actually been pretty consistent with him. And year by year, it goes up, and it stayed pretty high. I think four seasons he was over 1,000, and last season, that's what we're looking at. 2022, what he's going to bring, and over 1,000 is always pretty solid for me. His longest rush was 81, right? I think it was 81. He played all 17 games. He caught 39 passes for 295 yards. I think this is really going to be great. And it's his 7th season, and talk about being in his prime. And that's what we're looking at. Everyone's just like hungry in their prime, coming together. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling this team is young, hungry, in their prime, right where we need to be,
Yeah, I like the fact that if he was to come over, he would be in his prime, first of all. But not only is he in his prime, he's ready to run. He's running 1,100 yards last season. You can't, how can you go wrong with somebody like this on the team? But a lot of people say, no way, because he's too expensive. Well, for me, if it was to happen, if we were able to get him around $8 million a year and get him for 2 to 3 years or so, maybe give or take from there, depending on what Grier wants to do. But I would say no more than 3 years. Get him in a contract, about $8 million a year. See what we can do with him. See what he can do for Miami. I really like Dalvin Cook, and I think there's a lot he can do for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, he's really an over the top addition to this team, and I think with this coaching, he is going to be unstoppable, really unstoppable. And with Mostert, you get him, paired up with those Wilson Jr. It's going to be a really
absolutely Ralph's Room. You get what you pay for, no doubt.
You do get what you pay for. Even if Vikings are letting him go for the cap, that's all right. That's when people get picked up, and it is all about the money. I think the people putting together this team with the Dolphins, they should get the MVP.
I don't know about that. Chris Grier, I don't know. He hasn't been able to fix our offense for over 20 years. Our offensive line, anyway.
I like how we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're almost there. So anyway, folks, that's just a quick morning from us. We wanted to wake you up this morning, have a little bit of coffee, a little eggs, whatever you're doing this morning. KJ and I love coming to you every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Next week, we'll have a little more going on, but we want to thank you for tuning in. And as always,
Fins up.